You gotta clap your hands together for Sean and me.
My name is Edmund Preston Sinnott. My friends call me Ed. My parents call me by my middle name.
My econ and they're not up yet? They're not up yet.
I'm a student at North Central College in Naperville, Illinois. This past year, I joined Students in Free Enterprise, or SIFE for short. SIFE is a national college-level business club. Teams compete for the best business projects with a focus on economic justice. I'm an economics and German major, and Professor Jerry Tolman told me it would be a great experience.
So this year's layer at 72%.
North Central has a SIFE project centered in Guatemala. I was specifically interested in the coffee project. SIFE is very hands-on, which appeals to me. In early December, I traveled with a group of students to Guatemala to visit the coffee farms.
Well, you know, I sent that email about don't forget your passport. So we're running around this morning, can't find our passports.
We were an interesting mix of both business and anthropology majors. We met on the departure day at the college. I realized, as I shook hands and made initial conversations, that I was meeting friends I might know for the rest of my life. I was surprised at how many students were from Hispanic backgrounds.
I'm Sean.
I guess it was kind of like how Irish Americans would want to return to Ireland to see firsthand their family roots. It made perfect sense. I just didn't expect it.
My parents came from Mexico. I'm like, seriously? Out of all the places you could have gone to, you picked Chicago and the weather here.
I met Christina on that snowy winter morning, and I was totally blown away by her. She's beautiful and smart. She's interested in fitness and business, just like I am.
Make sure you film the guys picking the coffee, because they'll make us look like crap. When we pick coffee, what you do is
Carlos is a returning student. He'd already visited once before, and he had a lot to tell us about Guatemala. Long term, I sense that Guatemala has a special calling for him.
So we're unskilled there, huh?
Yeah, well, my brother was a business major, and I don't know, I'm just different from him. Trying to get some diversity in the house. Not everybody doing the same thing.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Anthropology is as far away as it gets from business, basically.
My dad just kept saying, like, have fun in South America, have fun in South America. I'm like, Dad, I'm not going to South America. He's like, wait, where are you going?
Then there's Kelly, a farm girl with a quirky sense of humor. Most of the girls I've met wouldn't know one tractor from another, but I think Kelly would.
I'm such, like, a nerd, I guess, but, like, I'm, like, such a farm kid. Because, like, I just want to see, like, how they farm other stuff besides, like, corn and soybeans. Like, I was even, like, talking to my dad about that. He's just like, oh, you're going to, like, see old tractors. And I was like, yes.
Bien, gracias. Hi.
Professor Matt Crystal almost seemed to have dual citizenship with the U.S. and Guatemala.
Over here to check in, so we might want to form up over there.
He's an anthropologist and told us that we were there to view the culture without changing it. I recall thinking, as an economics major, we should find ways to improve any business we are trying to develop. I wondered how it was possible to improve business without change, and if this would become a conflict during our trip.
I know we're going to get to help out on the field and learn more about the trade, like free trade.
Marisol is a sociology major with a special interest in fair trade practices. For her, it was not about the SIFE competition or where coffee is grown, but a chance to find her roots.
I'm excited about learning about Mayan culture because I know that, like, that's where some of my ancestors are. So
we'll be learning about coffee and stuff, I know, and like where it comes from and who grows it and what all happens in country before it ever gets to the U.S. So that's going to be really interesting.
Mike is an international business major, but not an active SIFE member. I still wonder why he's not that involved in SIFE. I think he came partly to compare his experiences in China to someplace totally different, like Guatemala.
I guess I'll just do whatever I'm told, pretty much. And maybe at night go to bars.
The trip down went smoothly, and like any Chicagoan, I appreciated the warm weather when we arrived at our destination.
It was good. Good flight. I'm good.
Well, I think we're just going to be able to help out the community in general, you know, like, because that's what we came to do. We came to help them out, but not like to create a big impact, just like help them out like, as much as we can.
Jesus is also an anthropology student. Initially, I didn't get to know the anthropology students as well, assuming we had such different reasons to be there.
Well, in school, I'm learning like how it affects it, and here now I get to be part of it and be like part of the cause.
There was a scary moment when Marisol misplaced her passport.
I know it's here because I needed it. Calm down.
After we assured her that we wouldn't abandon her, she was able to find it.
Well, I came here 2 years ago with another group, and my mom is Jean Clifton, the professor, one of the professors who's heading this.
Professor Jean Clifton was traveling with her teenage son Colin and her husband Tom, who is also a North Central College professor. I didn't really get to talk to her much at first. She was always counting heads to make sure everyone was together.
I'm excited to see how things have changed and stuff.
When we landed in Guatemala, it was pretty much like any other airport I'd ever been to. But outside, it was very different. There was a level of poverty I had not seen before. The ride to the hotel was uneventful. Christmas was approaching, but to me, the weather seemed too warm for the holidays. Fortunately, this tree was there to remind me.
Feliz Navidad!
Feliz Navidad!
Guatemala City seemed empty at night, at least where we were. Our luggage drove ahead in a separate truck. We drove through a gated entrance and straight into the hotel lobby. The next morning, we ate our first meal together. After breakfast, we went up onto the rooftop and looked over the city. I have to say, this was an important moment. As I looked out, I realized there was more to being here than winning a competition. I think that even though there is, such beauty in the country, obviously, it's quite obvious there's a lot of poverty. It feels like an American city, only one that's very, very poor, very, very poor. Well, I'd like to go and meet the farmers, and I would be very happy to learn about their coffee growing techniques. But now that I've seen the city, it really strikes me as such an important social issue that coffee growing nations must overcome with the poverty and all over, not even just with the farmers, but it's a serious issue, this poverty in the country. I read once that a destination is never a place, but a new way of seeing things. I was here to experience a wider world, to develop relationships with others, and to learn more about myself.